Blue Jay fans cannot believe what they're seeing out of George Springer to begin the year. The veteran outfielder was showing major signs of decline in the last few seasons. He wasn't nearly hitting the ball as hard anymore, and he was unable to pull anything. Fastball, curveball, nothing. It looked like age finally got to Springer, and Blue Jay fans were ready to move on. And then, just as most Blue Jay fans turned their backs on Springer, his bat came alive.
His first time up. Now a ball in the air to left, hit pretty well, turns and it's gone.
Fans' jaws dropped as they witnessed George Springer turn back the clock in the first week of this season, producing like he did back in his 20s. I have to admit, I was wrong about George Springer to begin this season, but is it too early to be saying that he's all the way back? What's up, guys, and welcome back to Blue Jays Today. In this one, we're going to be looking at George Springer's eye-boggling numbers to begin this season and compare them to his past seasons and as well the rest of the MLB. And of course, we're going to discuss how George Springer's breakout is going to impact this offense moving forward. Before we get into it though, I encourage you guys to hit that like button and subscribe to Blue Jays Today if you enjoy Blue Jays news and content. All right, folks, let's get into the video. When you look at the first week numbers put up by George Springer, you can't help but give this guy a standing ovation. In the first 7 games, George's slash line is one of the best in baseball. He's got a .429 batting average, a .520 on base, a .667 slugging, and an OPS of 1.187. That OPS currently ranks 11th in all of baseball. But if you're an OG in this channel, you know that I don't like to look at the slash line and make that the definitive answer on whether a player is good or bad. I like to look at the advanced metrics, and even when you look at the advanced metrics, George Springer, my God, it looks good. George Springer's best skill in his entire career was the fact that he can hit the ball hard, far, and to the pull side for a lot of home runs. And when you look at how many barrels George has generated so far this season, 16% of his at-bats are getting barreled. That's 15th in all of baseball, compared to last season where he was only generating 6.5% barrels every at-bat, ranked 172nd in all of baseball. And last season, George Springer wasn't getting many Springer dingers because of his inability to put the ball in the air to the pull side. Only 14.6 of balls he put in play last year were fly balls to his pull side, a well below average metric. But this season, George Springer has been gripping and ripping it, and 38.5% of all the balls he's put into play have been fly balls to his pull side. That's top 15 in all of baseball. Even though this is a very small sample size, these metrics tell me one thing, and that is George Springer is trying to get back to being vintage George Springer. When you look at the early parts of his career, what was he best at? Well, it was the barrel percentage and it was pulling the ball deep to left field. But is this enough evidence to prove that he will continue his success? The big thing for George Springer this season, now that he's starting to prove that he can grip it and rip it and do some damage, is he's got to stay patient at the plate. Pitchers are going to start making that early season adjustment and start dancing around George Springer, giving him bad pitches to hit. It's up to George Springer whether or not he decides to swing or not. So far this season, George has been walking at a pretty decent rate. However, the strikeouts have been pretty bad as he's averaging more than a strikeout per game so far. Now, if George can stick to his game plan and avoid those pitchers' pitches and take his walks, then this will be a great recipe for success. Hey guys, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below or click the link in the description to join the action. Available in Ontario only, must be 19 years older to participate, and guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content. And the great thing about George Springer this season is we're not actually asking him to do a whole lot. George has found himself down in that 5th and 6th spot in the order, right behind the top 5 guys in that lineup and right above all the younger guys that have been called up from AAA Buffalo. So if he can provide some pop in the middle of the order, driving in and cleaning up all those top guys on base, or just pass the baton, take your walk, and leave it to Alan Roden and Will Wagner, who have gotten off to pretty good starts themselves. What George can't do is be a rally killer. And again, it's still early. I already know there's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 comments saying, hey, dude, it's still early, chill. I get it. But I got to talk about George Springer, and I got to give him a little tip of the cap because I was underrating him, and so far he's proven me wrong. And I hope I continue to be wrong, because if George Springer can give me anything in the middle of that lineup, this offense is going to look completely different. But guys, you let me know your thoughts about George Springer in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, guys, go Jays go.